What's up, everybody? It's your boy What's Grind. You watching Sub Urban Nerd, this channel where I get my nerd reviews on today's nerd reviews or nerd news. But today I'm actually giving a review on my feelings of the first episode of season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I've been watching. I'm not one of those bandwagon people. I've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from beginning all the way till now. Now, granted, the first half of the first season was not good. But when Winter Soldier, that movie came out, and then all of a sudden S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore, that's when this show actually started to get good for me, and I pretty much liked it for the most part all the way through. Sure, there are some little parts, sure, there are some moments where you're like, really? But for the most part, I have enjoyed the show itself. And coming into this, I almost forgot that the season premiere was yesterday on Friday, December 1st, I believe. But yeah, I watched it, and I already knew, because from the last episode of season 4, I knew it was going to take place in space. And right off the bat in my head, I'm like, okay, they're forming S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, no, they're forming S.W.O.R.D. Because in the comic books, S.H.I.E.L.D. defends Earth from Earth dangers, and S.W.O.R.D. defends Earth from space dangers. So that's what I figured, but the way they took it was completely different. Right off the bat, they're jumping into there, and it was kind of weird. I didn't know what was going on. Coulson shows up in the spaceship, and then time's froze. But then I guess that's what happens when you travel via the talisman or whatever the monolith that they call it, that teleports them. Before it teleported them to another place in space, but this time they're not sure. So and then he shows up. All of a sudden, there's like a blown hole. People get sucked out, and then he's asking the guy. One of the guys gets killed or whatever, and the main guy's like, "You're Coulson? Yeah. Well, I've been waiting for you." And it's weird because you're like, "What? This don't make no sense." And then they're like, "When did you guys do this? Because like Earth hasn't had a ship in space like this, but except you guys seem to have been out here for a while." So and then I'm watching this, and I'm still confused myself. And that's one thing I liked about this show, that it did keep everyone kind of in the dark, the same way the characters themselves were in the dark, and it was enjoyable. Like little by little, each one of them kept showing up. You come to find out that the Kree are on these planets, is on this ship, and then they're trying to survive, trying to figure out what's going on. Max gets kidnapped, and they all trying to put in their work. Like Phil Coulson is the first one there, and he's asking questions. Then a guy gets stabbed in the face and pulled out, and then he goes running, and that's when everything starts to go crazy. And then they come to find out they're on this big ship that the Kree are pretty much in charge of, and the human race is on this. And then they're still kind of confused. But then they show the planet Earth is exploded. It's destroyed. So then they're like, wait a second, we're not just in space. The monolith took us to the future. So this is where it comes. I guess the guy that was waiting for him, like, it's been myths and legends of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. disappearing and showing up, being sent to the future, and to save humanity. So I guess they're gonna get information from now and then go back, and that's when they're gonna form S.W.O.R.D. is what I'm thinking is gonna happen with this whole season. And of course you got the return people. You've got Clark Gregg is Phil Coulson. You've got Nina Nguyen as Melinda May. You've got Chloe Bennett as Daisy Johnson, or Quake, which Bennett, there's another Bennett, who I think is a Deathstroke and Arrow, but I think that's his last name, but I don't know if they're related, but that'd be cool if they were. Leon Kestecker as Leo Fitz. Fitz, he wasn't really in this first episode, but I guess they're gonna probably go back and forth, sort of like when Simmons was on the other planet and then Fitz was on Earth trying to find out how to get back to her. You got Elizabeth Henstridge as Gemma Simmons. You got Henry Simmons as Alfonso or Mac McKenzie, and then Alfonso or Mac McKenzie. You got Vitaly as Yo-Yo Rodriguez, and the characters still work for me. I'd still enjoy. I love seeing them. I love seeing the way they work together. And Mac is funny as hell because like when he showed up, I guess he saw this guy with a gun, Coulson. He looked kind of shifty, so he knocked him out while he was frozen. and then Coulson, he was like, "What? I was trying to get the information." And then the guy's out for a while other people are showing up. He was like, "How hard did you hit him?" And he was like, "As hard as I could." Man, you can't blame me for seeing some shifty looking guy with a gun standing in front of you. So I just did with instinct. And like Mac is he's been a lot of comic relief in the series in general, because he's that guy that's like, oh hell no, I don't want to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? But he still does what he has to do. And Quake, Chloe, she looks beautiful. She's always sexy, but her attitude as far as getting things done is kind of straightforward, sort of like May, but I guess because of powers. At some point, the thing that was funny sort of reminded me of Cabin in the Woods, when they're all in these things that are like sort of like aliens, reminiscent of Alien, because in this cutoff section of this huge like ship or reserve with the humans and Kree, there's a section that you don't go to because there's these aliens, which I think they said are pretty much running wild all over the broken up Earth. But these things like aliens from the show, the movie, and they're killing these people, and I guess they suck the life out of them. And the thing that sucked was the guy that was trying to tell the future, Coulson what was going on. He gets stabbed in the face from behind, pulled to the shadow, and it comes to a point where Daisy shows up right in the nick of time, or Quake shows up right in the nick of time, and blows up this alien that's trying to go after them. Then that's when you find out that she's like, okay, we need to find the rest, because they couldn't find, I guess, what was Yo-Yo and Mac, and they were like, we need to split up and find them. And they were like, no, actually no, that was before then. But it comes a point where basically they're like, Daisy's like, let's split up so we can find the rest of the people. I believe it was May. And then he's like, haven't you seen any like alien movies or space movies? You don't split up. That's why you die. And she's like, oh, but it covers more ground. He was like, they always say that too. And then they were like, what do you want to do? And then finally they're smart and they're cluttered together. Because Daisy's the only one with powers that could actually save them, which she just showed. So, sure, she has no problem going off on her own because she has powers. Nobody else does, so they want to stick with her. So it makes definitely sense. So I did enjoy this. And then you see the Korean, you find out that the world, dystopia, this guy like that saved him, whatever. He actually recreated the framework, which is something that was created in season 4. And that's how these people escape. And Daisy's like, oh, you're just giving them a drug so they can be complacent. And she's like, you don't understand. There is no planet to go back to. One wrong move, and this is the extinction of human beings, of the human race. You don't get that. You just came from the future. You have these powers. You're like, oh, let's fight. That isn't how it works. But except, that's what's going to happen in the season. And I definitely get it. And I definitely, I'm interested in the season. I don't know how they're going to last, because normally these seasons go for about 20 so episodes, 20 something episodes, and this is kind of weird. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I know in the end they're gonna find a way to get back to Earth in our present time, and then they're gonna start S.H.I.E.L.D, because the natural impending doom of the Kree, which actually might tie into the fact that Captain Marvel movie, the one that Brie Larson is Captain Marvel, the Kree's gonna be in there. And there's going to be maybe the Kree-Skrull War. So it might tie in somehow. Because normally anything from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't tie in to the cinematic Marvel Universe. But the cinematic Marvel Universe usually ties into the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in some sort of way. Not so much last season, but they do sort of mention it. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the rest of the season. That's pretty much my review of it. Like, I did enjoy it. I'm not going to give it a number because, like I said, it's the first episode. But if I had to give it a grade, I would give it a B, because it definitely kept my interest. It wasn't nothing super amazing, nothing that's like, oh my god, but at the same fact, it definitely had funny moments. I enjoyed the characters, and I'm definitely interested in seeing where this season of this show is going to go. So remember, thank you. Remember to, if you like this video, remember to share, like, tell your friends, subscribe, check out other reviews of shows, check out my other playlists of shows that I've watched or reviews. And remember, I'm Wes Grant. You've been watching Sub Urban Nerd, and you've just been nerdified. Catch you guys on the next review. Thanks.